everyone. Welcome to Embrace Live. Now you know what it's like to be on this side and watch that little thing there.
When you actually see
There's a delay.
Over, there's always a little bit of a delay when you're doing
I know.
live. It starts first on our side, but then there's like a 10-second delay before you start seeing
and it doesn't show it, and then I'm always distracted, and I always focus on that, and I should just ignore it.
Yeah, you just got to roll with it. Just assume that it's going to work and plan like it's working and make the best of it.
Everyone, thank you. This is my husband, Nathan Williams. Thanks for being here, honey.
Of course.
I love it. I know that you had this in your calendar for weeks and weeks and weeks because I told you a month or more ago.
In fairness, you told me a month or so ago, you said, oh, by the way, you're going to be on the 2nd.
That's right.
I did not add it to my calendar, so it was last night. She's like...
We're sitting at dinner, and I'm like, so, tomorrow.
You remembered you're on tomorrow, and I'm like...
He didn't remember. So...
But I'm here. So
I'm glad you showed up, honey. Thank you.
We're going to just kind of ham and egg it and go off the cuff.
Well,
I didn't really do a whole lot of prep.
Well, there wasn't much to prep. I just wanted to have you on so that we could do a bit of a recap, because can you believe it's 20 years that we've been doing this to some degree? Like when we started out, it was just 3-4 times a year. We only had 2 kids.
Yeah, and really when you think about launching this and you had a 1-year-old at home.
I had a baby.
Like, we were so much younger, like 20 years ago. Like
I'm still the same.
I probably feel younger than I did 20 years ago. But
no, but you're right. We have a young family. Like our oldest would have been like 4 years old, and we had our middle, and then kind of 7 years later into it, we had our youngest daughter, and she had a lot of health issues, and I don't know, how did we do it, babe? How did we do it?
Well, I think what it was is
we had a strong family, lots of help.
We did have a great support system, but we also really, like, your heart for worship was what kind of helped you to kind of forge ahead, even though like life was busy and there was lots going on.
Right.
You really seen the need for a time where it's just dedicated to worship. Like, you know, not that we didn't love and still don't love, like we do love our churches and our church worship, and, we honor them and everything they're doing, but it was just an opportunity to have a dedicated hour and a half. I think when we started we were kind of going a little bit longer because we were only running it 4 times a year,
and to bring people together,
together, and we wanted to really have, like, there was no interruptions. It was just worship for that, you know, hour and a half. And we, you know, like, your mandate and the heart for this was always to bring people from different churches together in order to help facilitate, you know, unity in worship throughout our city. And like, that's always been your heart. It's always been for unity. It's never been a one-person show.
Never, no. And actually that's what drove us, and I would say that is still to this day. Our team has always been, through 20 years of people moving, people leaving, people moving on to other things, our team has consistently remained made up of people from all different churches. And I believe it's such a beautiful prophetic picture of the city of Red Deer, and us choosing to come together and to worship together from all different houses.
Yeah, absolutely. And one thing you kind of always said was, like, when people's time, when the Lord moves them on, we release them and they're free to go. Like, of course, we're just, you know, volunteers that are coming together, and it was never one of these things where, hey, if you feel your time's up, then, you know, we're going to pray for you, we're going to send you off, and you're going to be completely, you know, free to do that. And then, you know, God's going to bring in other people, and he has.
He always has.
He's always brought in people and made it so where we had either a venue to go to, like, it always worked out.
Yeah, and initially we moved from church to church, different churches, kind of 3-4 times a year we did that, and we loved that. We were just chatting before we went live. We've been at a lot of the churches in town, which I kind of forgot about. We've been at Crossroads and New Life when it was New Life. We did a few there. Livingstones, we were there. Streams, we'd been here. What's that other little... Oh, Oriole Park.
Yeah, the
Victory, we
Victory
were there.
Church.
Yeah.
Like Liberty, of course.
Liberty.
Where we started was at Liberty, a small church.
Let's talk about that for a second, because you listed off some names I had completely forgotten. Like when we started, we didn't have a team. So we had to draw from our family. My brother drummed. My cousin drove from Edmonton to do sound for us for quite a while before you started sound.
Well, that's how I really got into doing sound, was that we needed, Albert, we were counting on him a lot to come down from Edmonton to help us, with the sound. But, that's a big commitment for a guy to drive.
Yeah,
but he was only 4 times a year.
He was always there.
But then he was quick to show me a few things, and then I started learning it, and that's back in the old analog board days.
When it was really hard.
It was really like then you had to really mess things up for church on Sunday for the next team, because it's like you got to turn all these knobs. Now with digital boards, you push a button and it goes back to the settings that they had before. So it made it super simple as technology's evolved. But yeah, like we did rely on a lot of people, and we have people like Brian.
He was from Edmonton.
Down from Edmonton, and
Sean McIntyre.
Sean McIntyre from Sylvan Lake.
He was with us that very first night. Yeah.
Your other cousin Sean.
Yeah.
You
really pulled from. I have a very musical family, so I'm like, hey, you guys, I need your help, and they did.
They came.
Yeah, it was great, and they did for probably a few years. We were running on people from outside of the city, as well as building and starting to establish a team in town. And it was like God's faithfulness through that time. How we stayed with it, I don't really know. It really was the people that were around us that kept encouraging us along the way to keep going.
Yeah, and who are the ones that have stuck with us from the start?
Kevin and Tina. They're
Tina.
the only two that were at that very first service. Yeah.
To where we are today, other than, of course, the two of us.
Yeah.
So
we don't count. No, but it's true. I mean, how God surrounds you with people and protects the vision along the way is amazing. And then it was 6 years ago, I really felt we were done. I'm like, you know what? I want to really focus on my family, my children, and they were getting older, and it just felt like it was a struggle, and I felt like it was time to be done. That was 6 years ago. Well, 2019. And you were so supportive during that time, because you allowed me to make that decision. You supported my decision to quit. But he was praying behind the scenes, and you kind of really launched us into this whole next new season of the last 6 years, I think.
Yeah, like, if anybody's been involved in ministry for any length of time, it does take a toll on your family life, on your personal life as well.
And I'm a homebody, so it was a stretch for me too.
Yeah, people will definitely, question why we're doing something, or our intentions behind things. And so sometimes when those things come up, it's easy to go, you know what, let's just be done. Let's just, there's other things going on in the city. Let's just get behind and support those things. But, we were just feeling at that time, like I'm listening to...
You were feeling at that time.
I was listening to a podcast, and it kind of resonated with me that... kind of the message behind it. And then we happened to be on a road trip to Calgary to go look at a vehicle for my daughter. And I just subtly kind of played it. She didn't know it was, what we were listening to. And I just put this podcast on, and then she started listening to it. And then you kind of came to the realization that actually, I think we need to press in more. So then we took the services from 4 or 5 times a year to...
We really went all in,
to... We're going to go weekly.
Which was not a normal... Anyone who knew me at that time was like, are you sure? And I'm like, no, I'm not sure, but this is what I feel like God is saying, that he's requiring more from us, not less. And so we did. We stepped forward,
And that was, we've really been blessed to have a few volunteers, but that really was a challenge to go weekly with even ourselves. Is like, I'm doing sound and we're busy. We both, with jobs and the rest of it, and to make it work. But one thing we didn't see coming, and nobody really did, is a pandemic.
Yeah.
And
2 months in.
We launched January of 2020.
Yeah.
March of 2020,
we're shut down.
the world gets shut down and flipped upside down.
Yeah.
And so then all of a sudden, my commute to Calgary every day was cut.
Yeah, in town.
I started working from in town, so all of a sudden this door became a lot easier to manage, because I was no longer having to drive in from Calgary on a Tuesday to make it work.
I really look back at that pandemic as being a catalyst for where we are today. And 6 years later, it really was a growing time. I think if we hadn't have launched the weekly services, I have no question that we wouldn't be going. Embrace would have probably died back then, because there was nothing to sustain. We only were a few times a year, so we'll just pick this up later. And we might not have, I know I wouldn't have probably picked it up. So God knows what he's doing. He got us into the water. We're in the boat. We're already swimming. We've already invested all this time and energy into services. And then Embrace Live was born during that time. And I look back now and I go, that is the thing that has sustained this way more than I realized at the time. So it's cool how God works. You don't see it coming. And that's why if you're watching today and you don't know what God is doing, just trust the process. If I've learned anything, it's that. You just have to trust the process, that he knows what he's doing, even when we don't see it. He's working in ways that you might not see for years later. And I see that now as we're pivoting now away. I felt like it was time to let the monthly services go. And I've been saying it for a few years, so no one really took me very seriously when I finally said, I think we're done. But I do believe 20 years is the perfect time to now pivot into, we'll share what we feel God is leading us into, but it's the perfect time, don't you think? Like it felt like time for both of us.
The last 6 years was a real growth time. Like we were able to get, the process of even getting a charity number. Like we went through all that, and
that's not easy to do.
It's really not easy to do. Governments really don't hand these out very easily. So for us to go through that process and get that all in place, which made a lot of our programs possible.
Right. Our projects, we were able to financially sustain projects and give back to our community, which for me is my greatest joy. I love doing that. Yeah.
And those, I don't know how many pastors we've been able to bless with the pastor's legacy.
Count,
and it's, if you've, again, like I said, if you've served in ministry or you've been a pastor of a church, the amount of hours that go in, the thankless messages that they're writing and putting all together, and times that they're visiting people when they're down and counseling and pouring out of their cup and not having their cup filled quite so much. I think it was a really big thing, that we were able to do that. And just, it wasn't a huge thing, but it was we see you. We acknowledge that, we're honoring people, and that really has become the biggest part as far as when it was time to kind of make this decision. When I really looked at it, I'm like, the services were such a small part, where they used to be the big part and the only part. Over the past 6 years, Embrace really grew in other areas behind the scenes, and we're doing a lot of charitable work and giving back. That has stolen my heart, and that's where I really want to sow more into that and giving back, because people are really struggling. I got an email this week from someone who's nominating a single mom it's a heart-wrenching story. I love that. I'm like, I want to be able to help, and that's the heart of Embrace Worship, is to give back in that way, and so that's something we're going to build on. Yeah. So, and even though we're pivoting away from the monthly services, that is still very key and big part of what we're doing, and the merch helps to go, that we sell, really helps to go and feed these programs, as well as your giving. So anybody that's listening, if you want to continue to support this ministry, it is receipted. You will get your tax receipt, just like donating to any other church. We will still be maintaining that, because we are still functioning
as a charitable
in that capacity. So
And that's a big part of moving forward. We have a brand new merch line. Neither of us are wearing it today, honey.
No, I wore my shirt earlier today at the gym during my workout.
Yeah,
so.
that's good. But that is you're going to see that grow. We're excited. We have a new supplier. I'm really excited to grow that part of the ministry because it really does help us give back. You get a beautiful piece of merchandise, but we also get to give a portion of that back to our community, and we want to see that continue. And so that's going to be a big part. Embrace Live is continuing in a deeper level. We're going to be online more frequently, so stay tuned for some new programs, some new series that we're going to be doing with various pastors, leaders, people sharing their testimony. We're going to be online. I'm not going to say how many days a week, but it'll be more than once. Yeah, we're going to grow that too.
Yeah, and we'll try to get it more onto YouTube and a better platform. Facebook's been great for us, but I think we're going to be doing this more often and, make the leap to YouTube and podcast more platforms like that if we can. It's going to take some time. If you're really good at that type of thing,
reach out.
And you're listening today and you want to help us out,
we need that help.
We could use that.
That's what I'm thankful for is people do, like Rebecca Peters, she does our newsletter, and she reached out to me and was like, hey, I'd love to help in this area. Do you, would my services can you use me in that area? And I was like, yes. And so I love that community. She goes to another church in town, but we've been able to connect and to use her expertise because we can't do it all. We are learning and growing, and we're going to be getting our merch online. That's going to be a whole nother job. So yeah, we need help in that area for sure.
Yeah, we'll eventually figure it out. But if you know of a way to do it a little quicker and save me some YouTubing to figure it out.
Yeah, because it does follow Nathan. You're good at figuring that stuff out.
I've been tech support for 20 years.
Honey, what have you learned? Like as we've kind of walked through this process, and I would say you have been such a catalyst. I love when you're on with me and people get to see you because I know for sure 100%, especially in the last few years. And this year was a hard year for me with the girls moving out, and I was emotionally it wasn't easy on me. And you were always such a cheerleader and support and encourager. And I just want to say, thank you for being that. I know that God put us together for that reason because you do that so well. You know how to just encourage, and I thank you for that because I don't think we'd be here today without
It goes
that.
both ways. Like for sure, when I'm, work-wise or anything else you're struggling with, you're always so good to encourage me that,
we're a team.
We're a team. So this last year, like you said, with 2 girls moving out in the span of 6 months.
Yeah, I was not good.
At least we still had Castle at home.
Thank
it
goodness.
Wasn't a flash empty nest moment, but there's definitely some changes and some newness to, and even to how we spend time together. Right?
Yeah.
There's now.
Yeah.
Learning a whole new.
It's been good. Like I've loved this year for that reason. Yeah. Like even though it was hard in other ways, it's like I had to learn new parts of myself and new parts of our marriage, and what did we want our family to look like? What did we want our marriage to look like? And so I think we've done some of that work and those conversations and prioritizing ourselves a bit more.
Yeah.
I had to learn that. I had to learn to prioritize myself.
Well, and it's, when your kids are like both of us, like when your kids are your focus for that long, it's you definitely have to prioritize or change your priorities.
Yeah.
Okay. She's going to have to put up with me forever, so I better make sure she still likes me.
You're pretty easy. Yeah, no, it's good. And we've had a nice shift in our life. I was thinking last night, I kind of wanted to cry. The girls, all 3 of our girls were home. Our oldest moved back to Red Deer, and I had a crazy week last week getting her moved back home. Not home, she has her own home here, but 2 minutes from us. But I felt such a joy in my heart last night, and it made me cry. But I felt like God was like, I work all things together for good. Like, yes, it was a difficult year, but look, the girls were all there for dinner last night, and now Kyler, our middle, is living at home for a little bit. And I'm like, God does all things well, even when we go through the deep things, the deep pains, and not everybody supports you through that either. Like, they don't understand, why are you this way? But you have to go through some of these dark seasons, these dark times. You learn about yourself. And I sat there last night and I just thought, wow, God, you're so good. It was hard, but you worked it all together for good. And it just felt like our family was complete, full, even though she's been home a lot. It felt different last night again, but our family was back together.
Yeah, it did. It was nice. It's always nice when they're all together. And I've been thinking, a lot of times, and probably over the last year, different, as I've been more and more involved in men's group and that type of thing, I was thinking, we were talking about this once maybe at men's group, but when you're the story of Jesus in the disciples and Jesus on the water in the storm.
Yeah.
And everything, the wind and the waves and everything's crashing around them. Jesus is sleeping in the back of the boat, and the disciples are freaking out.
Yeah.
They're thinking they're all going to die. But how, and I'm sure they were thinking we would rather be anywhere else
but here
than in this boat right now.
Yeah.
But how many times are we wishing we were on the shore, but instead we should just I would rather be in the storm with Jesus than on the shore by myself.
By myself, yeah.
So even though we go through these storms, like you said, as long as God works everything for the good.
He does.
So,
and He always does. It's like we can look back over our life, and it hasn't always been easy. Our road to having children was difficult. We lost 4 babies along the way. I lost my dad really young. I've had a lot of loss in my life, and you've walked me through all of those losses. And it's like, but the goodness of God, I look back and I don't see the pain. I see the goodness of God through it all.
You see the fruit and the pruning.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not fun. It's not comfortable. But,
no, it never is.
With our losses and the babies that we did lose, I'm so thankful for the ones we have.
Yeah. Yeah.
And if the others were born, then we wouldn't have the ones we do, but they are in heaven. So there's always that comfort, and one day we will meet them again.
I know. Isn't that amazing? No, and we are so blessed with 3 daughters, and just the joy that they bring to our life. I mean, all of you get it as parents. That God blesses us with children to sow into their lives, and it's not about us, it's about them, and seeing them develop their relationship with God and with each other. It's what a gift. What a gift.
Absolutely.
It is. Yeah, it's cool. What else? What sticks out to you as one of the highlights of, I told you this before, you probably didn't think of anything, of the last 20 years? Like, if you could sum it up, what would you say Embrace Worship has been something that you'll take away? Not that we're ending, because we're not, but we are pivoting, so it's a new season.
I know you kind of prepped me for all this, and I didn't really do my homework very well. But I think it is probably all the new relationships that we've made over the years with different musicians, different people that were involved at different times. It was funny, a guy that joined us, several years ago, and actually was fairly consistent with us for quite a while. I was working with his company, and he was a welder that was working for the company that I worked with. Yeah. And, just talking with him and like, hey, maybe you'd like to come out and play acoustic with us sometime. And he did that, and then
he was a big part of the team.
But he never really let on that, like, I sing sometimes. and you're like, well, let's get him to sing. And then it's like,
he was amazing. Pocky.
Amazing voice. And if you are listening, he will be joining us at the last service. Yeah. We will be having Pocky back.
We invited him to come back and join us. Yeah. And he was actually really cool, because you reached out to him, and he was really sad to hear that we were, and that's where that people that have worked with you really catch your heart and your vision, and even though they're not maybe working with you, they're still cheering you on, and I love that we have people like that in our life, and he's one of those people. And he was like, I will be there. I want to be there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was cool.
Yeah, it was very exciting to have that and have him come back. And, you did a recording with him, and that was another thing that we kind of stepped out in. And you recorded 2 singles. Yeah. And they are available online.
Yeah, I'll share the links here. Do you know who else reached out to me? Well, you know this because you were there. Chuck. Just on Sunday, Chuck Gasper sent me a text out of the blue, and I was like, I absolutely love these God connections where you don't talk forever, and they've started a worship ministry in Abbotsford where they live, a unity, a night of people from all churches coming together. And he was just thanking me for what we've done for the last 20 years. And I was like, God is so good, like how he just knits our hearts together with people, and no matter where they go in the world and in their lives, there's always that heart connection.
Well, and Chuck, such a talented guy and man as well.
Huge.
So they were great to have on the team, and they came as a couple, same as us. And, but the talent like Chuck had on the keys, like to go any direction, but just such a soft heart and a heart for worship, and
we've really been blessed to meet so many different people from so many different churches that have been a part of this, and we just want to say thank you for that. I think that's what that has always been my heart. I looked back, we shared photos from Morning of Faith, from Praise in the Park, and all the different faces that have been part of this team and people. That's always been my heart, to work with the best of the best and bring people together. And I love that I can close this chapter knowing we did that. We did that. We worked with a lot of different people.
Well, in that Morning of Faith, that was, that was something that you always, when you're, even back to when your dad was alive, you're like, I don't know how it went exactly, but you're like, Dad, I want to lead worship.
Have a worship night,
Have a worship night and lead to hundreds of people. And he's like, don't think that small. Like,
he did say that, Fill the century. Yeah. He was a big visionary.
So then when that opportunity came up, and I know the CEO that was at the Western at the time was a man of faith, I believe. So he was really instrumental in making that happen. And Nancy Page, she was kind of coordinating the whole thing.
She did the whole thing. She was amazing.
And we did that for a couple of years.
Yeah.
And it was just an amazing thing.
I'll never forget that day, actually, when this all came together. I remember sitting, I was invited to be part of this team that was going to put together this service. And Dave Grobe was there, and there were some other pastors in the room. And so we were over at the Western in this meeting, and they were telling us they wanted to do this service and get the churches involved. And I'll never forget sitting there, and when the question, I'm thinking, well, however you need us to help, we'll help. Like, we're excited to just help and see this happen in our city. And then when the question was, well, who should lead worship for this? Dave Grobe said, embrace worship. Wow. And I was like, what? Like, it was so humbling in that moment, because it was not even on my mind that it would be us. But Dave, a big shout out to Dave, of how he has just encouraged so many musicians and leaders to step out and to do what God has called them to do. He did that for me. That day, I was so humbled and so encouraged that he put our hat in the ring to say, hey, they should do it. They've been doing this for however many years. And we led 3 times there at the Morning of Faith. I think we did, that we were blessed to do that. And we brought in other leaders to lead with us. It was great.
When we were also looking for a place, he made, what is now the Dream Center, still under renovation. He got us in there. We did a few services there while we were it was kind of still under renovation. They were doing a worship time. They
allowed us in there.
Dave's been amazing, and just his heart for the city and for worship, and he's got a real servant's heart.
We love you, Dave. We appreciate you so much. All you've sowed into Red Deer is just amazing. And we have to say a big shout out to Streams Church. We've been here for 6 years, and when we came here, when we launched, or we're going to launch our weekly services, we had nowhere to go. It was 2 weeks before we were supposed to start that the pastor here at the time was Taylor Woodburn. And I just shot him a message, and he said, absolutely come and use our building. And we've been blessed to be here for 6 years. And so we just want to thank Streams Church for allowing us to rent space here. Our office is here, and to use their sanctuary for the past 6 years has been a real blessing.
And we had some pivots. We started off every Saturday, which when you're also have a church
that meets Sunday.
Sunday morning, having a service in Saturday night is not always convenient, because if you rehearsed ahead of time and everything's set up maybe for Sunday morning, and then you've got somebody else coming in and they're moving everything around to make it accommodate, because we usually came in with a fairly big team. So
they were always
they
so
were amazing
good
for accommodating that. And I was working quite closely with their sound people to try and make sure everything was the way it should be. And then, but when we said, hey, we want to pivot to Tuesday, they're like, no problem, we can work with that.
Yeah, they've always been great. So thank you, Streams Church. So as we step forward, honey, what are you excited about now? Like, I feel more excited about what is to come. And I feel a new excitement, and God does that in each one of our lives as we pivot. I think Pastor TJ said it so well, is sometimes we have to lay something down for God to reveal new vision. And that's where I feel like new vision is awakening in my heart as we plan for what is to come for Embraced Worship.
Yeah, like I think there's lots of opportunities, especially with the online space. Like you're very gifted at interviewing people. Like if you've watched,
who saw that coming? I was like,
if you've watched this over the years, and like I said, it was birthed out of the pandemic, because what are we going to do in between? So let's talk to other leaders and visionaries from around central Alberta. We talked to guys down in the States. Chris Burns down in Nashville.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And then there were some other people in New York. You interviewed at the time. And so it kind of really broadened things out and extended our reach. So now, with that focus in mind, I think there's new opportunities and lots of people out there that have interesting stories that you can bring to the local masses that are to our audience, right?
I think for me, it's removing. I love, of course, there's always going to be the onstage ministry. I'm excited to step away from that and be more behind the scenes, doing, like I said, with our charitable work, and having people on here to highlight what God has done in their life. Some of the people doing the not most significant ministry, but very significant ministry, are people you don't even know their names. And those are the people that I want to sit down and talk to and have them share what God is doing, where he's leading them, the conversations they're having. Because God, not everyone's going to go to church. Not everybody's going to relate to a pastor, but they're going to relate to you. They're going to want to talk to you as you build relationship on the basketball benches with the other parents or whatever it is. God has called each one of us to ministry, and my heart is to remove the hierarchy of ministry is the ones up front. It's not. Our ministry is relatable, one with each other, and sharing our hearts, our burdens, our trials, the things we've walked through, what God has done in our life, and we want to create space for people to share that.
Absolutely. And I think if you know anybody or have connections with somebody that's got a really unique story or a testimony or ministry, connect us. Drop Laurisa a message.
Definitely,
so that she can reach out and see what we can get going. Like she said, she wants to get this message out there.
And to just to share it with people, because that's, to me, I've been so ministered to by other moms who've reached out to me over this past year and saying, hey, I know this is hard, or I know what you're going through, but it gets better, or whatever it is. We all can do that with each other. That has ministered to me so much. So many women have ministered to my heart over this past year during a year that was hard. And so I love hearing people's hearts for people.
Yeah, absolutely.
Who's been one of your favorite guests besides
me?
Besides you.
Besides me. Well, I always enjoy Pastor TJ.
He's probably our top appearing guest.
He's probably our top appearing guest. I just always find him, very
That was
enjoyable to
before
listen
he
to.
was our pastor.
Yeah. We've had lots of, Chris Burns. He was very,
Yeah, he was
especially
really
during
good.
that time, his
Church.
Jesus in a bar.
Jesus in a bar, yeah.
He bought a bar in Nashville that became a worship.
Yeah, they had worship services in there. It
Worship
was
services
powerful.
there. That was very interesting.
Yeah.
Sammy Robinson.
Yeah, so
is
good.
So good. Everybody you've had on has always had a different story, and
And drop in our inbox
Yeah.
of someone you'd like to see, even if they're like they don't live in Red Deer. We want to reach out to other people to have them on, because I think there's so much that we can learn from one another that is powerful.
Well, and also those studies you do, like the Esther series you did.
Love it with Jen Hine, and
Jen
Trish.
Hine and Trish. Like,
There's going to be more of that happening.
yeah, like those I think are really powerful too. You unpack a certain story, or what God's saying in this, and then you get the different perspective from different people.
Yeah.
I think there's lots that can be learned through.
Yeah,
through
I
those
agree.
Conversations.
Having those conversations is so good. Well, it's a week today. Next Tuesday, June 9th, is our final worship service. And for those that still aren't quite getting it, because I still have people messaging me, we're not resuming in the fall.
No.
Our monthly services will not be resuming in the fall. So Tuesday is the last night to join us for worship. And I'm excited about that night to just release a song of worship over this city with so many people who've been so faithful to be here and so faithful to support us. Like, we've been so supported and so encouraged by so many people, and we just want to thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And we've loved every minute of it. Like, there's been some ups and downs for sure, but that's like anything. But to get together with people and just worship our Lord, there's nothing better than that. Like,
No, it is so good.
corporate worship and just no agendas. Half the time you would be like, we'd wrap up and wouldn't even bother with announcements or anything like that. And I'd be remiss to not shout out some of our key volunteers, like Tim and Rochelle Grimolowski, Eddie Henry, been faithful with us all of these years, and Tina, of course, and Kevin, they're the two staples that have been on our worship team for
Always
so long.
so faithful.
And of course, our families and Judy,
our moms,
our mums, and Judy's been amazing. So,
our kids,
for sure. Like, considering we only had 2 when we started, our youngest wouldn't even remember, or our middle one wouldn't even remember a time that we weren't doing it, because she was a year old. So, but they automatically got, whether it was running PowerPoint or helping me tear down the stage, or whatever, helping in the kitchen, make sandwiches. Like, they were, we kind of like, girls, if we're doing this, you're doing this.
Yeah, and we kind of did have that discussion that back when we started this weekly, we had the talk with our girls that if we're going to do this, we're doing it as a family. And they took that very seriously, and they were always here and always supportive and encouraging. So we love that. Family first.
Yeah,
family first. It's so good. So save the date for next Tuesday night. We'd love to have you come and join us. Our new merch line will be dropping next week, which I'm excited about that.
Yeah,
I'm excited
really
for
cool.
you to see it.
Really nice.
We've stepped up our game a little bit, and it's going to be great. So we're looking forward to it.
We still have a lot of our existing merch you can see in the background there. Like,
not much left.
Not much left, but there are a few sizes of different things if you want to. And hats. We've got some hats, new hats coming too.
Yeah, new hats are coming too. You like the hats?
I like the hats.
Yeah, that's cool. Well, thank you for joining me today. I wanted you to announce, so let me just get this. I'm just looking at our board. So yes, our service. Judy and I will be here for coffee and devotions tomorrow at noon. Join us for that. But I wanted you to announce the launch pad for any men watching today. There is something coming up. Is there still room for them to register? I guess is the big question. But I wanted you to share really briefly about that is coming up the following week, the 17th.
Very exciting. So June 18th and 19th, it is a 2-day men's launch pad. So what if you're listening to this and you're wondering what a launch pad is, so Steve Weatherford comes in up from the U.S. He's a former NFL punter, won a Super Bowl with the New York Giants, my favorite team. And I've been following Steve for a lot of years, and he's just got a really powerful ministry. And we ran one up here last year, and I think it was at the time it was the largest launch pad they ever did. I think we had 79, 80 people, 80 men out for this. And the amount of breakthrough and transformation in men, you just see, and powerful. so many stories of hurts and addiction and everything being broken off guys. And yeah, there's a little bit of a workout aspect to this, and a cold plunge and that type of thing. But don't let that scare you off. It's about community. It's about where if you struggle to do something, your brother is there to pick you up, and we really try to encourage that. So it is a free event. So how often do you get an event that's free?
Yeah.
It will be at Summit Church is where we'll be having it on the 18th and 19th. On Wednesday the 17th, we are having a family night of worship and ministry at the church. So that's open to anybody. You should come on out. He's got a real powerful testimony. The worship's going to be great. And
I went last year to the worship night and the service where he spoke, and it was very, very good.
Yeah,
very good.
But if you're a guy out there and you're kind of unsure of whether or not you should come, you should definitely come. You should make it a priority to get there. It will transform your life.
Yeah. I'll share the link and everything so that in the chat here, so you can easily click on that and register. And if you have any questions, definitely reach out to Nathan. He'll connect you.
I'm not sure how full we are. We are aiming to cap it at 100 people. So it will be filling up.
Right.
It was a very popular event. And then when we had 80 people, 79 people last year, you can guarantee that they're going to tell other people.
Yeah, so absolutely.
Get in there. We will post the link. And it's through Champions of Christ Ministry, and you can register there, but we'll put the link up.
Very cool. We'll share that with you guys. Thanks for joining us today. Thank you, Nathan Williams.
Oh, you're very welcome, Laurisa Williams.
We will be back, like I said, Judy and I, tomorrow for Coffee and Devotions. And also, Jen Hine is back with me for the final wrap-up episode of the Esther series. That's next Tuesday at noon. Join us for that. That will be our final Embrace Live. We're taking a break over the summer, but stay tuned for some exciting things that are going to be coming this fall on Embrace Live.
Bye, everyone.